What are my reactions or feelings about the influence of mass media on the perceptions of crime and deviance? I think at first that, of course, media influence our perceptions of crime and deviance because it exposes us to the possibilities of potential danger and crime. For example, when I see a police officer on TV treat someone like crap, of course, I will already have perceived that figure as someone who has the potential to treat me the same way as what I've seen on TV. The article Crime Cultivation by Grabe and Drew supports my perspective, with sources mentioning that high level of perceived realism of crime drama is associated with a higher fear of crime. I don't think that mass media creates awareness. I don't think that mass media creates unwarranted levels of fear. I think that it creates awareness. Anything can happen from friends to strangers to family, and what you see on TV that's fiction and nonfiction still raises awareness, and it could be healthy to have a raised level of awareness than to not have any imagined bad that could happen to you. Okay, an example of mass media creating awareness and not an unwarranted level of fear is that through the article Mental Disorder and Violence, because the article defends the assumption that mental disorders are related to violence and ends on a more proven assumption that drugs and alcohol are higher risk factors to violence. Perceptions of crime reinforce social labels and stereotypes in society because people associate things together, like violence and drugs, as mentioned in the article Mental Disorder and Violence. This article mentions a study that concluded that substance abuse alone is linked to raised violence levels. This is important because people will judge marijuana, still classified as a drug, as something that could be linked to violence. This could in turn turn into social labeling and stereotyping anyone who uses marijuana. An important idea about the article, the influence of exposure to depictions of race and crime in TV news on viewers' social judgments, is that exposure to media that portrays a certain race to a certain behavior, such as criminality, can produce stereotype-based responses. However, through the Bureau of Justice website, statistics of violent crime was higher for whites in 4 out of 5 categories of violent crime. Another concept from the textbook Kira is that as mentioned in chapter 1, deviance is created by us and our own flaws. The book quotes the construction of deviant labels and their assignment to particular individuals serves to mask social conflicts, making labelers more confident that their way is the only right way. The fact is that stereotyping or labeling someone as deviant has a massive influence on a person or subculture. One example of a social conflict that deviant labeling can create is mentioned in the article Construction of the Crack Mother Icon, where Joe Biden was quoted to admitting that media influence support for discriminatory sentencing. Conflict theory best describes the influence of mass media on social perceptions of crime and behavior because it examines the roots of crime that is shown on the news. Especially according to the textbooks, articles, and the Bureau of Justice website, there appears to be some inequality in the system where people think blacks are more violent, yet whites commit more violent crime, and they are thought to be more privileged.